If you guys like fishing the Ned Rig in rivers, lakes, ponds, around rocks, around wood, if you just like fishing the Ned Rig at all, you're gonna wanna check this out. Whether you're a beginning fisherman or whether you've been doing it for more than 30 years like myself, this is a technique that you're really gonna wanna try to dial in because it can be super effective regardless of the type of body or water you're fishing and regardless of the species of bass that you're fishing. Now, everybody is used to throwing this, right? The standard Ned Rig jig head. And that works great if you're around in open water and not around any timber or around any rocks. Yeah, sure. Bass like to hide around cover. Bass like to hide around rocks and bass like to hide around timber. So, you know, a lot of times this application isn't going to work for you. There's a lot of new terminal tackle out there that you can use. A lot of people just aren't aware of it. I fish the Ned Rig for smallmouth or spotted bass or largemouth, specifically in creeks and rivers. And that means I'm usually chucking my Ned Rig around rock formations. I'm usually dragging it into deep holes, or I'm usually trying to flip it in around cover because that's where the bass like to hide. Fishing an exposed hook bait and cover like that can be horrible. One of the things about a Ned Rig is as far as the line tie goes, guys, it's a 90-degree line tie. So when you're fishing this around rock, if you've got a small piece of rock here, if this comes down here, it can get lodged into that rock really, really easily. If you're fishing this around cover, this can get hung up on a limb, or you could be bringing your Ned Rig over a limb and it roll and the hook just catch that wood, which is no bueno. What I have found that works best for me fishing around these types of cover is an EWG style hook. Now we're talking about something like that, which means that you can rig it weedless, Texas style, but it's got a jig head on top. This is just a round ball jig head. They make them in football jig heads. They make them in Ned jig heads. ZMan's even making them in bullet style jig heads. I'm gonna put links to all of this terminal tackle down below. You guys just need to find out what works best for you in your areas. I really like fishing the ball head.
Another one? Yes, sir. Nice. Nice. I think this is a smallie. Fighting like a smallie. Yes.
This is an owner Ultrahead, and then this is an owner Finesse football. I really like these two specifically because the line tie is not at 90 degrees. It's more at 30 degrees. So it's less prone to get snagged because there's no hard 90-degree turn right there for the eye to get snagged on. A football head and a round ball head do really, really well around rock cover as well. Ball head does a little bit better around wood. You just really got to experiment what works best for you. None of these are completely snag free. We're going to take a look at how we would rig this on your standard typical type of plastisol bait. We're also going to look at some of these new age baits like Nico baits or even ZMan, right? Are these jig heads going to work on this stuff? So it doesn't really matter if you are rigging this hook or this football head or this ball head. They're all going to be basically the same way. Super simple, right? Go in top dead center, go to the bend of the hook and come out the belly. Whatever that is, come out the belly in the middle of the worm. Run your jig head, run your hook all the way through, come to the bend, work it through, and then twist the hook. Now your plastic should be flush against your ball head. Line up, where's that gonna come through? Right where my thumb is. Go to the belly, go through the middle of the bait, go all the way through. Go all the way through that bait. There's your hook. You can fish it like that, and if you're still concerned with getting hung up, then you can what's called texpose it. So then you take this plastic and we're going to push it this way, So I'm going to pull it a little bit that way, and I'm going to take the point of that hook and kind of bury it in there just a little bit. Now it's completely weedless. When a fish bites down, it's going to push this down. You set the hook, and then the hook's going to come right through the plastic because there's the hook point right there, just like that. All right, so that's how you would rig it on your standard plastisol bait. Now, this is a 4-inch bait. If you've got a 3-inch bait, this jig head might be a little too big. You may want to switch to something like this ZMan product. These owner Ultraheads are available in like 1/0. I think this is a 2/0 because I like to fish these 4-inch robo worms quite a bit. That color right there, Margarita Mutilator, watch out. Okay, so let's talk about these ZMan baits. Not the ZMan, this is a Nico bait. This is a leech in Morning Dawn. You can rig it the exact same way. It just, because these baits are a little bit more durable, it just takes a little bit more effort. Down to the bend, twist it through, line it up where you're going to go through, right there at that seam, through the bait completely. You can fish it like that if you'd like to, or again, you can Texpose it. Now, because these plastics are a little bit more durable, getting the hook through there might take a little bit more effort, but it's still completely weedless at this point. All right, and the same thing happens as far as the ZMan plastic is concerned. All right, so I think you guys get the point. It's pretty easy to use these EWG Ned heads or jig heads for the Ned Rig technique. The only real difference, they don't have a flat bottom, so they may not stand up completely straight, right? This line tie won't allow this to stand up completely straight. But if you're fishing current, like I am, that really doesn't matter super much of the time. If you are fishing like a Nico bait or a ZMan, then regardless of, you know, how this is resting, this tail is going to float up. Guys, just a quick little tip video. We're all a bunch of Ned Rig nerds. And if there's anything that we can do, if there's any type of information that we can share with one another to help us put more bronze fish or spotted fish or ditch pickles in the boat or on the bank, then we absolutely should. I appreciate you watching the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, join the white whale fishing family. We'd love to have you here. We're just a bunch of bass fishing geeks trying to get better at landing more big fish. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys later. See ya.